really hate this selfie thing because I'm able to see how much weight I've gained. A lot of that's from stress on these cars, but we're getting through it. Wait till you see this one. I got ahead of myself. I really did. Check this out. I was at this car auction in Pebble Beach, and I had saved up all my money over the summer. And that's how they get you. They know that these business owners are making good money over the summer. They bring out these auctions, and then you get a deal. And I knew that Bonhams was the place for deals, but you might have to put in a little sweat equity. Well, turns out it's a little more than just a little bit of sweat equity. This is a fair good amount right here. So what you're looking at here, let me go to the good side of the engine. This is a Aston Martin. It's a 1972. I got it for less than that. It has 9,000 miles. It was owned by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Pretty wild. I had it running pretty good. It hadn't ran in like 20 years, and I started it up, and it was running pretty good. I parked it inside. I went inside. Woke up the next morning. I was going to take it to a car show. Just, putting around town. I was actually going to take it over to Neil so he could help me bleed the brakes. And on the way over there, or not even on the way over there, as soon as I started it up, it was making a horrendous noise. And turns out I had lost cylinder number 4 right back here. And the reason why is because there was a stuck valve, this one. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a crack right there on top of the bucket. So this is the cam, and below that's the bucket, and then below that's a little shim. And then the shim is how you basically adjust the valves. You've heard of adjusting valves, that's how you do it. You have to take the whole thing apart, measure the distance between the lobe and the shim and how much it's opening, and then do some math, and you can order shims for the bottom side of the bucket. Well, this bucket's broken. I think that the valve spring broke, and it broke like in a weird position where it wasn't able to compress, and so it's stuck open because the valve isn't coming back up. And basically, I'm in the middle of, I just found top dead center. I marked the cam. I took a lot of pictures of where the cam goes so that I can put it back together the right way. And the way I did top dead center, I don't know if any of you guys ever need to know this kind of information, but I didn't, look, I could get down there, but there's so little room right here, and it's exotic, and I don't even know what the hell's going on with this crank pulley that has top dead center markings on it. I don't know. It's all British. There's like only 400 of these Series 2s ever made. There's 288 of this car. So I'm like, what the heck? I don't know where this thing goes. So I just got out the old extension here, slipped the extension where the spark plug goes, rolled that over, and then as you can see, I don't even know what the hell's it's supposed to be like, but I know exactly where the motor is in case I have to tear this down further. I just put the extension in that I'm not going to touch again, put the Sharpie out, and marked it to the lip of this. So I at least know that's how far up the piston has to go in the position all the timing stuff is at. It's super redneck. Don't advise it. If you have the right tools, that's the way to go. But right now, I'm trying to figure out why this bucket cracked. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a hairline crack. You can see it right there. If you look at the screen, right below the cam, there's a crack in that bucket. And it was making a horrendous noise. As soon as I started, I killed it and started tearing into it. This valve cover is massive. It comes off in one piece. I've got it over here. It's all exotic stuff. It has 4 Weber carburetors. So basically, I'm going to let you guys watch. It's probably going to be pretty boring. I bet a lot of you guys fall off. But I've got it all ready so that I can take this cam off. I've already taken the cam sprocket off. I'm just taking the cam caps. And I've got to keep all of them in the right position. And then I'm going to pull the cam out. And then I'm going to pull this cam follower. I'm going to have to pry that out somehow. And then I'm probably going to have to take sandpaper and make this smooth again because it looks like it kind of got screwed up. So it's boring, probably, maybe. You might enjoy it, I don't know. But it's exotic, it's classic, and it's a lot of old-fashioned mechanicking. This is, can't hook a computer up to this, and it's really, there's almost no information. I've looked and looked and looked for a shop manual. I can't find it. There's just not one. You can buy one. They're $800, and I don't have one right now, and I want to get this fixed, or at least I want to order parts. Or, worst case scenario, I need to pull the head off and take it over to Bob Wagner's shop so that he can tell me what parts I need to buy, because I'm probably going to have him just do a valve job. My suspicion is that when the valve got stuck open, it probably made contact with the piston. Hopefully the bottom end's good. I don't need to replace the piston, because then I'm really screwed. But hopefully it's just isolated to the top end, and we can just put a valve and clean up all the valve seals and do a grind on them, and we'll be back in business. But I really wish this wouldn't have happened. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why. The car was running good for a day and a half, and then all of a sudden it has a valve that drops. I don't know. I don't know why it cracked. I don't know anything. I just don't know. But we're figuring it out. Gotta get you in there. Let me find a place. God dang it. Alright, if I put this like that, and then put this like that. What the hell? Amazon, maybe? There we go. Looking good. Alright. Gotta be really careful on the ends here, because it can fall down into the timing chain, and as you can see by the design of the head and the block, you have to pull the crankshaft out to put new timing chains in, which is not great. So I'm taking my time to put all the hardware in the bucket over here very slowly so that I don't drop anything, because that would be real not good. I went to a car show this morning. Well, not really a show, but it was like one of those monthly things. The one that's really popular here in Atlanta is called Caffeine and Octane. The one I went to is called Worship. And they really limit it to like rare and interesting and mostly old cars. So a lot of old Porsches, old muscle cars, old British cars. Saw a pretty nice Carmen Ghia. I'm gonna take this out, put it over here. I'd say there are a couple hundred cars there today, and that's exciting. I took my friend Jason, who liked cars but kind of from afar. For the first time, I took him there to that deal. Oh, interesting. It looks like someone's replaced some parts on this before, because all of the cam caps have markings on them except for one, and that would be very British but uncharacteristic. Also, everything on this engine is like stainless steel, so if I drop something, I can't grab it with a magnet. You know, so that's not good. And even if I wanted to put this engine back together today, I couldn't, because I don't know the torque spec on everything. So that's not good. Yeah, there's almost no information on this. But I did look up how much a core engine was, and there's one for sale in the world right now. And it's 12,000 pounds, which is like 18,000 or maybe 20,000 US. So I don't know. I know that I if I can fix it, I've got some equity compared to what I paid for it. And I don't know why, but that auction was really dead. If you guys really like some of these cool cars like that, like this, that are just really cool cars, but kind of on the undesirable side, like as far as markets go, like you would assume that a classic Aston Martin should cost, you know, 2 or 3 times what a Corvette does, and it's not the truth. It's about half what a classic Corvette should cost. And if you like more rare, kind of weird cars, that's a great place to buy them, because everyone knows that the cars really don't have any vetting. So if you like to get your hands dirty, you can turn trash into something real nice. And Bonhams also has this deal with the previous crown prince of Saudi Arabia's family. So that family owns like 2,600 cars, and that's a lot of cars, isn't it? Have almost everything. I mean, multiple, like probably 20 or 30 Countachs. And just at this auction, they had, these were the non-running examples of DBSs. They had 4 DBSs. They had a Hamara, a Lamborghini Hamara, which is a really cool looking 12-cylinder front engine Lamborghini from the 70s. Late 70s, early 80s. Not a Countach. It's a front engine. Anyways, cool car. Seats 4 people. Just a lot of weird cars. And kind of like you've heard of the Sultan of Brunei. Almost everyone's heard of his car collection. It's kind of like that. Pretty rare stuff. And they go for cheap. One of the DBSs sold for, it's a 1/2 inch. One of the DBSs sold for $28,000. It was a 6-cylinder. But the idea that you could own a DBS for $28,000 and potentially get it running for, you know, a couple thousand or less is pretty interesting. If you like interesting type cars, you know, different. I don't want to say that like a Chevelle or a Camaro isn't interesting. It is. It's just not as different. You seldom see a Lamborghini Hamara even at a car show. And I think that car sold for cheap. There was also a really cool car that I was thinking about bidding on, but I already blew my load on this. It was well, there's 2. The first was a Series 3 Lotus Elan that sold for $16,000. And that would have been a really cool car, and it ran and drove, unlike this one. All I'd had to do to get the one running, though, was... Ooh, scared me. Hit the ground. I'll get that later. You guys see that? That fucking bolt almost just walked off. Yeah, the Lamborghini, or the Lotus Elan. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I thought that bolt was gonna, that nut was gonna walk right into the motor. I'm sure I'm glad it didn't. Oh shit, there it goes. That was enough to let the cam rotate, which we're gonna have to get it back in order, but I took a lot of pictures of where it goes, so not that concerned. I'm just gonna let it chill like that, and then we'll rotate it back into position. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, got distracted there. I almost ate my lunch. Okay, removing the cam caps now. Now, they do have numbers on them, so I'm not that worried about them. The only one that doesn't has number 4. So, not super concerned about it. I do want to probably try and keep them in that order so I don't accidentally screw it up later. Doesn't look like there's a lot of trash in the journal. So that's positive. All right. Cam's coming out. There we go. I got the cam. I'm dropping the chain. The chain is still on the exhaust cam. And you can see the cam looks good except for one thing. This was the cylinder. This was the cylinder. And you can see it started to flat. And this one is still good. Now that's out of the way. I'm gonna wrap this one up, so give me a second, guys. If you haven't already, take note that Walmart sells rolls, yes, rolls of microfiber on a roll, obviously made in China, because it's so cheap. It's like $22 for a roll of 100 microfiber towels. It's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna have to look up that part number, as rare as it is, to try and find another one. Now that all of the not all the cams are out. Oh, what am I working on? Okay, this is a 1972 Aston Martin DBS V8. It's a 5.4 liter dual. 1 second, so tune back in just a little bit.